Check futures, please. We got green. Not a whole lot of it, but it's green. The Dow's up 120, same with the Nasdaq, up 130 points. Lou Basenese with me this morning. Lou, is this the start of a serious bounce back?
It is, and I don't even need a crystal ball to make this prediction. I just have history and earnings on my side. So history shows after every major military event, the markets may be lower by about 1% 1 month later, but 3, 6, 9, and 12 months later, always higher. Then if we look at the earnings backdrop, S&P 500 earnings increased by double digits again for the fifth consecutive quarter at 14%. And it's not just the Mag 7 driving it. You've got the other 493 that increased earnings by 10%. So this is a fundamentally strong market. The war trade is emotional. The earnings trade is mathematical. We're going higher from here for sure.
What are you buying?
I love energy, and I've loved energy for starting in the middle of last year. I still love biotech. Biotech has yet to hit new highs, all-time highs back from 2021 COVID days. I think those two sectors are really attractive. And then small caps. I think we still have in the back half of this year, all this administration and the president's policies are going to kick into gear for this economy. Small caps benefit the most, in my opinion.
Stay with me, please, for the hour. Need more from you later. Lou is still with us, looking at he's got stock picks for us. That's a good one. Teradyne. It's up 2% already.
Yeah, I'm a buyer here. I'm a buyer of names that aren't Nvidia. If you look at Teradyne and the next company we're going to talk about, they're both up already over 50% this year. So what does Teradyne do? Teradyne is basically an inspector of chips. Before they go out into the wild and do all the great things that chips do, not just for AI and compute, they got to test and make sure that they work. They're the inspector. Their business is booming. Revenue is up over 44% in the last quarter. They think this chip testing equipment business can grow tenfold over the next 10 years. They also have a robotics kicker. So everyone loves to talk about Tesla as a way to play robotics. Tesla makes a big fat whopping $0 in revenue from robotics. Teradyne has about 16% of their $1 billion in quarterly revenue coming from robotics. So I love this. It's up about 200% since we first started talking about it in July of last year. Still think this thing could go to $400 or $500 from here.
I have to admit that I did not know that Teradyne was a tester of chips.
Yeah, and
I remember there was such a huge company that that's what.
And there's
basically
over
what they
a
did.
trillion chips that are sold every year, not just AI chips. Everything we do has chips in it. So it's a great play on the total digital economy.
You've got one more pick, and that is Modine.
Modine is really simple. Think of air conditioning for data centers, right? If you've ever had one of those desktops.
They're the cooling guys?
Yeah, they're the cooling guys, right? But they have a unique technology that not only can be installed quicker in a matter of months instead of 12 months, but it's much more efficient, about 40% more energy efficient. So it saves money, cuts down on costs, makes operations more profitable. It's like that desktop computer that starts overheating. You remember those things? It starts humming and whirring. You don't want that in a data center. These are the guys that make sure it doesn't happen for AI.
I have a friend who builds these data centers.
Yeah.
And he tells me that one of the big problems is keeping them cool.
Yeah.
Because you've got all these things, all this electronics, and it gets hot as the devil.
Absolutely. That's why the geography of the data center matters too, right? We're going to build all these data centers in Texas. I think you're going to make sure you got to have plenty of cooling because the climate there goes from extreme cold to extreme hot. So it's something to keep along. The picks and shovels of the AI boom, I think, are going to be the big profit makers that ride on the tails of Nvidia in this market.
They've literally started to, or tried to start building these data centers underwater.
Yeah, just like the data centers in
may
space. I don't think it's happening in the next decade.
Okay, right, we'll take that. Thanks very much, Luke. Stay there. More for you later.
Iran holds about $8 billion in crypto. Iranians hold crypto. There have been reports of sharp outflows.
Yeah.
Maybe this is their lifeline. And then there's this. Kraken just won access to the Federal Reserve's payment system. That means they are the first crypto company getting into the mainstream financial system. So that is a vote of confidence, if you will, that crypto is becoming more mainstream.
I was intrigued at Iranians getting a lot of money out very quickly after the bombing started. I suspect that could be on the part of leaders who've been milking the country for a long time and are getting their ill-gotten gains out. But that's a rather negative view on Iran.
This starts to demonstrate a use case for Bitcoin, right? In areas of unrest and turmoil, it becomes a mode of transmitting money.
Yeah.
But I don't think it becomes mass adopted still. Like it's still trying to figure out his identity, as Lauren said.
Lou, come back in here, please.
Yeah.
Back in October, as I recall, you said that gold is the fear trade and Bitcoin is the freedom trade. You still feel that way?
I don't, because I reserve the right to change my mind. And I think the market has changed some here, right? Because gold was traditionally the fear trade. And Max and I were talking about this in the green room. And I think you're seeing it's the dollar debasement trade. It's also a momentum trade because it really had to play catch up as well to all of the money printing that we've seen. And then the central bank's purchasing is really the key for me. That's providing a floor underneath gold prices. I think we go higher from here. And then Bitcoin, I think the divorce that we saw on prices in the last 4 to 5 months, not trading in lockstep with gold, is showing there's a fundamental shift in investor perception of Bitcoin versus gold. Everyone's going to the preference towards a hard asset that's real and tangible, not a digital one that's just ones and zeros.
You've never been a Bitcoin kind of guy.
No, it's a fascination to me. I've speculated here and there. I have a little bit just in case it goes to 1 million, like so many famous people have predicted, but we'll see. I don't see that in maybe your lifetime or mine. So,
No, you've got a lot longer to live than I have. Anyway, Lou, will investors be okay with a return to reciprocal tariffs?
Yeah, look, I think we just want clarity, right? Is it 10%? Is it 15%? Now, do you not now have the authority to come out tomorrow and say, let's make it 83% or 115%? It's that volatility and expectations that really spooks investors. I think the good thing here is now we're getting clarity. The Supreme Court provided it by shutting down one path. The president's got another path, which he always said he would pursue if he didn't get the Supreme Court ruling in his favor. So I think you see the market's really not impacted by this news.
Yeah,
and I think you're seeing corporate earnings, right? Profitability is at a record high, 13% plus profit margins. Companies have a buffer to absorb some of this.
It's the war and energy prices. That's what moves the market today, I think.
Agreed.
Thank you, Lou, for joining me for the hour.
Thank you for having me.